Hello, everyone. Welcome into Above My Pay Grade. My name is Eric. Welcome back to the Penthouse Suite. Still on the road, but I read an interesting article on The Guardian from Robert Reich about government's involvement with these corporate profits. Because his contention is that these companies, their input costs are going up, right, during this time of inflation, but they're raising prices up and above that. So their profit margin is going even higher. So they're getting record profits. Should the government step in? I have some notes here. He said corporations are not raising prices based off inputs. And I'll link this article in the description below. But he gives examples like ExxonMobil. They made $17.9 billion last quarter. It's not all profits, but he neglects to mention that during COVID, ExxonMobil lost billions of dollars, billions. So what is a government to do, or what is a company to do if they have a profit model of they got to get while the getting's good? And in free market capitalism, like I talked about the other day, if prices are high, I think a government's responsibility is to avoid monopolies. Oil and oil drilling is not something you can just start overnight, right? So competition would probably take years to come online. But the government definitely plays favorites when it comes to oil leases and who can drill where and what the competition is able to do. But suffice it to say, the oil business is feast or famine. And oftentimes people look at moments like right now, and oil companies are making a ton of money, and they neglect to mention that the previous 2 years, they lost all of that money plus some. Like I said, feast or famine. So he also mentions Procter & Gamble raising prices and having the best quarter of their life. They make razors and all that kind of stuff. Pork, beef, and chicken, having only 4 companies in the United States that basically run the meat distribution in the United States. And we have antitrust laws to avoid these monopolies. But what is the government's responsibility when it comes to these companies and making profits? If the government comes in and taxes, think about it, it taxes windfall profits. Let's say you're Purell, you make hand sanitizer, and you probably made a killing in 2020. But if demand goes up for hand sanitizer, but everything above and beyond what you were making before, because demand has gone up, the government's just going to tax as a windfall tax. What is your incentive to up production? No one's really answered that in this article. What would be your incentive to up production? And Joe Biden's talked about this too with these oil companies. He said, we're in a time of war. Okay, what about the time when no one was driving in 2020 and these oil companies were losing money, right? So these oil companies, and every company in the world, is designed to make money. If they don't make money, they can't stay in business. In a way, I think all the government can do is get in the way of business. They can't help it. I mean, they can help their buddy, but they don't help free market capitalism by doing anything. Leave it alone. They can avoid, or they can help avoid monopolies, but your average citizen is going to be much more motivated to have a competitive advantage over somebody who's price gouging, starting a new company, giving people more options, than the government coming in and let's say one company like Amazon makes a ton of money. And instead of more competition coming online to lower Amazon's prices, the government just taxes them and redistributes it. How well do you think that'll work? It won't, okay? So my contention is what normally prevents competition is the government. It's the regulations and the bureaucratic nightmare to get into business that just people avoid eventually. So, windfall profits tax is the final thing that he recommended. And again, you'll have to let me know what you think about this, but our government's far too involved in business as it is. And a lot of people blame, like Robert Reich did in this article, it's not inflation, it's corporate greed. And there's something to be said about that, but you tell me what's wrong with corporate greed. And if your definition for greed is wanting more profit, what is wrong with it? And then how much profit is enough? And who decides? Get where I'm going with this. This is not a simple discussion. And as soon as the government gets involved, everyone assumes that the government's not for profit. and these people are as corrupt as they come too. So they use their position to profit themselves. And at least in free market capitalism, you get to vote with your dollars every day. So if you don't like the company, you can go somewhere else. So that's the only place that the government, I think, should come in, is if there is no competition. And they consolidate all the power of a corporation, and they buy up all the other ones. So antitrust laws. But other than that, government shouldn't be involved, including in windfall profits. Maybe the company is greedy. Maybe the company wants more profits and is taking this moment in time to make more money and to gouge their customers. But free market capitalism fixes that by opening up the doors for competition. In the long run, that company is going to fail. Let me know what you guys think about windfall profits and windfall profits taxing, and if it would fix anything. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you guys in the next one. Peace.